Imagine it's 2027. What does your firm's tech stack look like? Your firm maybe saved thousands of lawyer hours last year. How? AI tools have summarized documents, drafted briefs, answered client questions, and even created some project code for client deliverables. Yes, that might be a bit hyperbolic, but we are inching closer to that reality perhaps. And what steps are firms taking today to get there? Hi everyone, my name is Abhijat Saraswat. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer at Lupo, and I had the pleasure and privilege to work on 2 reports for Skills, which I'll be talking about. These reports give us a glimpse into the current and the future state of legal innovation. Maybe we'll have flying cars, maybe not. But before we discuss that, just a quick note on how these reports were created. Each year, ahead of Skills, we survey KM and innovation professionals, all of you, from law firms, vendors, and consulting firms. Nearly 500 people responded, and these responses were analyzed with insights drawn from largely North America, UK, and EMEA. And for the AI report, we just hone in a little bit more. So if there's more than one person per firm that responds, we select just one individual, giving us, in this case, a pool of 143 respondents. Now, all of that out of the way, we use that data to create 2 reports. The first is the analysis of AI responses. This takes a deep dive into how law firms are adopting and using LLMs and what they may mean for the future of work. The second is the analysis of survey responses. This zooms out and looks at the broader trends, including how innovation priorities are shifting and where firms like yourselves are investing their time and energy. So let's start with the AI, and then we'll move on to the broader trends. So 2 years ago, in 2023, the story about AI was all about experimentation. The data showed that most firms were testing the waters, evaluating what these tools could do. And we fast forward to last year when you all answered the survey, the landscape seems to have shifted dramatically. First, let's look at the macro trends. In the LLM adoption, last year, 62% of firms that we surveyed said they were still in the considering phase. This year, this dropped to 44%. Meanwhile, the number of firms licensing or deploying LLMs went from 12% in 2023 to 32% in 24. What's clear is we move past the let's see if this works phase into let's make this work phase. And if I break these numbers down just a little bit further, we see that 41% of firms are fully live with public LLMs like OpenAI, Copilot, and the rest. And 66% of the respondents are pursuing firm-developed solutions, showing a strong appetite for custom tools aligned with specific workflows. And what's also clear is firms are looking to adopt a multi-platform strategy. By this, I mean combining both public and firm-specific LLMs to address distinct operational needs. So, who's using these tools anyway? Well, I'll let you answer that in the comments. But we did ask about who they're deployed to, and the scope of deployment does vary quite a lot. Some firms are diving in with firm-wide deployment, particularly for those public LLMs, whilst others are focusing on practice-specific adoption, which is more common for legal-specific LLMs. And then there's the phased approach. Designated testers or select group of lawyers are being used to trial tools, perhaps before broader rollouts. Of course, giving and having the access to the tools is just one part of the puzzle. The rest, and the most important, is the focus on use cases, knowing how and when to use these tools. And unsurprisingly, summarization here remains the top use case today, with 62 respondents ranking it as the first place use case. But from here, things start to get a little bit interesting. If I look at the second highest ranked item, that's code creation. The reason this is interesting is this is a huge leap from the responses last year. And it raises a question, what's actually driving this? So I'd love to hear that in the comments and afterwards. Now, if you look ahead into 2027, the report paints an interesting picture. document drafting emerges to be top use case compared to certainly today, while summarization and code creation is still there. But maybe the biggest change, the thing that stood out to me the most, is the uniformity across the categories. So that's the AI focused report. And while AI is clearly the headliner, it's not the whole show. The survey responses report, the second report, highlights some really interesting shifts alongside the AI adoption one. And we'll start with the big picture where, no surprises, AI initiatives were already the top focus in 2024, with people wanting to and targeting to work on them. And this year in 25, the number of projected amount of people that's looking to work on them from the responses is staggering at 91%. And of course, this underlines again how we move from experimenting with AI to embedding it perhaps strategically into day-to-day operations. But innovation isn't just about AI. Two areas we're seeing significant growth are client-facing KM and APIs, both of which grew nearly 10 percentage points in planned work for 2025. Now, we don't know what might be causing this, but it's a question that we'll happily discuss with you all. And at the same time, we think about foundational activities. These remain largely the same. Process improvement is consistently a priority. It is similar to internal KM and innovation initiative, both of which remain relatively steady from previous year. We're also seeing traditional KM activities like forms and precedents still playing a big role, with 43% of respondents in the survey planning work in this area in 2025. However, it's interesting as we think about the planned work versus the, desire to discuss the ratios. This area around forms and precedents certainly is one which ranked the lowest in terms of wanting to plan to do something about it and wanting to talk about it. And finally, when it comes to what firms want to talk about, the data is pretty clear. AI dominates both planned work and discussion, and respondents that selected this topic overwhelmingly voted highly for it, 84%. Meanwhile, data analytics and process improvement follow behind both of these areas. So what does all of this mean? I look at both the reports together. One thing is certainly clear, the thing that's been clear for quite some time, that things continue to change and shift. On one hand, we see the rapid adoption of large language models of AI, and firms no longer asking, should we use AI, but instead, how do we optimize AI for impact? These AI-enabled tools are already transforming workflows, whether it's summarization, drafting, or even coding, and maybe are laying the foundation for what might be the next phase of innovation. On the other hand, the broader survey data reminds us that innovation is more than just AI. Firms are looking to balance these cutting-edge advancements with steady foundational activities like process improvement, KM work, and creating perhaps better solutions for their clients. The common thread across both reports is pretty much the same, that it's a deliberate, thoughtful approach to change, and the legal profession isn't running headstrong into the future. It's building a roadmap that's perhaps balancing stability with progress, ensuring that every step forward adds value to both the firm and the client. This might be my optimistic view, but certainly that was my take from the data as I looked at the reports. But I'll let you judge for yourself. Both of these reports are already available and published at skills.law. And look forward to having a discussion with you all around anything that stands out to you and to dive deeper into some of the findings. Thank you.